You're watching World Insight coming up in the program. The country's livestock industry, a lifeline for many Afghans. Hear the story of two nomadic Kuchi herders whose job will make a big difference, no matter what, in their community.
Around 80% of Afghan people.
Welcome back. This is World Insight. I'm Tian Wei. In Afghanistan, there are not only the Taliban and the resistance forces, but the vast majority are Afghans trying to get on with their daily lives. Their joys, sorrows, and their voices need to be heard. Today, let's meet two Afghans, Faridoon and Shamali. Faridoon works with the CLAP-Kuchi project under the Dutch Committee for Afghanistan. And Shamali is a local veterinarian. The Kuchi are the Afghans' nomadic pastoralists, forming 8 to 10% of the total population. They are a vulnerable population, but contributing significantly to the livestock sector, which is the engine of Afghan's rural economy. Over 80% of the total population depend on rural farming, with the livestock being at the hub in Afghanistan. But according to statistics, the pre-war Afghan livestock inventory stood at 4 million cattle and 25 million sheep and goats. The number falls sharply since the war began, with less than 4 million cattle, less than 16 million sheep and goats. While at the same time, the Afghan population relying on this resource has nearly doubled. So Faridoon told me, whether you are Taliban or not, you need to have the help of Veterinarian. With the support of the United Nations Agricultural Development Fund and the Dutch social group, they have learned the basics of veterinarian medicine, and also they have worked as animal physicians for many years. And now let's hear their stories. I'm so glad to be joined by Faridoon and Shamali.
Yes.
How many people in Afghanistan are making a living out of livestock?
Afghanistan is one of the country, around 80% of Afghan people is involved in the livestock. Women percentage is very high in the livestock sector because the men only provide the feed from our side, but livestock management and milking, also housing, all these things belong to women in the house, also in the pasture. Especially Kuchi community, we have more than 20 million livestock. The survey, the census is done in 2021 by UNFAO, but update census of livestock we didn't have in the country, but more than 20 million livestock we have in the country, especially small ruminant, goats and sheep, more than 65% with Kuchis, with pastoralists. Pastoralists, we have three kinds of pastoralists in the country: mobile Kuchis, mobile pastoralists, semi-mobile, and settled pastoralists. All our pastoralists, they only one business, they involve in the livestock, especially in goats and sheep.
But now I understand that there's a very limited animal health service providers, only 2,000 of them. So how is that going to be dealt with? What are the solutions you're having now?
Dutch Committee for Afghanistan since 1988, working in Afghanistan. During the Russian time, when Russian attack in Afghanistan, Dutch Committee for Afghanistan established open office in Peshawar, and then they start to support livestock owner in Afghanistan. Till that day, till now, 1,300 some privates trained by Dutch Committee for Afghanistan from different donor supported. But since 2010, we received direct support from IFAD, International Fund for Agriculture. More than 200 private trained under the IFAD projects, also some existing private support in the country. But you know that 2019, we done the survey in Afghanistan. assessment survey for veterinary service provider for livestock owner in the country. We have now 1,000 active paravets, DVM or assistant veterinarian in the country. They provide vaccination, deworming, and treatment to the livestock owner. But we need a lot of more paravets to train in the future if any donor provide the money to train more paravets. First, too many districts, too many areas still. We need to train new paravets.
I see. So, Shamali, you are one of those being trained. Tell me more about your work.
We have received professional training provided by CLAP-Kuchi. I'm working in a remote area which is very far away, almost 25 kilometers from the district center. DRI provides some veterinary services for the Kuchi livestock owners and local livestock keepers. The main services which I provide are vaccinations, deworming, administration, AI or artificial insemination, and external essential services as well. Essential services include training for animal owners regarding animal husbandry. The service which I provide has been to control animal mortality, and animal mortality has drastically decreased compared to the past years when there were no veterinary service centers where I am living currently.
What kind of training you received and how are you helping the locals? Are you happy with your job?
Before receiving the training, I was working as a farmer in the village. I was struggling to earn a meager amount to pay for my daily expenses. And at that time, through the CLAP-Kuchi project staff, I was introduced to a 6-month professional training course. The China Club Training Center, which was located in Parwan province in Afghanistan. Here I pursued 6-month professional training on animal husbandry and AI. After completing the training, the project provided me with technical kits, which included all the equipment which is necessary for a professional person to work in animal husbandry or to work far away in the field. Along that, the project established a veterinary field building and provided me with a motorcycle to travel to the village. Also, the project established a feed bank through which I produced concentrated feed, which can be provided to livestock keepers in the village level. Through that, the people are very happy.
What is the people you are helping with, the kind of assignment you had recently?
My current assignment is to serve both local and Kuchi livestock keepers in the village. I have distributed my phone numbers through a business card. When the livestock keepers face any problem, they call me, and then I travel by motorcycle, which is provided through the project to the village. Then I take care of the animal and provide vaccines or deworming, etc., whatever the problem is. Here I can solve them and help the livestock keeper take away that problem.
A lot of people calling on you, and also you must be a good motorcycle rider because you've been go to so many different places, huh?
I am a busy person in the village.
Is your wife happy about that situation? I mean, you're always on the phone, always going somewhere.
She is really happy because I'm getting more income through serving the people.
That's good. So how much do you earn a month?
On average, I earn 20,000 AFs per month.
Pretty good. How do you and your colleagues are dealing with the instability in the country and the change of politics all the time over the years?
This is a little bit political question, but you know, our professional, I am veterinarians. Shamali is paravet, but I am veterinarians. I am graduated from veterinary faculty, also more than 20 years experience in this field. You know, I mentioned 1988, Dutch community start work from Peshawar. From that time till now, too many changes happen in Afghanistan. But one thing, very sustainable work of paravet and veterinary people in the field. You know, our work is not political. Nobody more disturbing in our work because we work with a very poor community in the field. Always we provide veterinary service and support to very poor people. this is the one thing still, we have too many example of Shamali in the all provinces of Afghanistan. We have Paravet, they received training 25 years ago, but still he is working in the field. He is provide veterinary service to the farmer, because you know that before the Taliban, this 1 month ago, also the CLAP-Kuchi project coverage area, 50%, more than 50% our Paravet were work that time is also in Taliban area, because Taliban, most of the Taliban is also, they have the livestock. They have very good relation with our Paravet. They also call for the treatment, for the vaccination, for deworming. Also Kuchi people is mobile. Most of them is mobile. Their lifestyle is mobile, because they stay 3 months in this place, 3 months in the mountain area. This business is very sustainable business in Afghanistan.
I just want you, Faridoon, to tell me one or two stories.
2007, 2008, 2009, I worked with Dutch Committee for Afghanistan, but my duty station was in Badakhshan province. Badakhshan province is north of Afghanistan, also border with China. I was the field coordinator of the projects. After 2-3 years back, I monitor my work in the area. I went with one of now our executive director, Dr. Raymond Brusco. I went join with him. We meet one Paravet in Badakhshan after 3 years of graduation. I hear from him very interesting story. After the graduation, when he started veterinary service in the field, he engaged, and he had a wedding party. And after 3 years, when I visit his wife, he had 2 small children. And then he say, all of these because of this veterinary service I provide to the people. Now I have wife, now I have 2 children, now I have very good life in the village level. But before the training, people call me Ikram. I was only graduate from 12th grade, but now people call me Dr. Ikram. This kind of money story in the country. After the graduation of our Paravet, now they have vehicle. Before the graduation, before he was not Paravets, they're very poor person, poor man, but now they have vehicle, they have motorcycle, they have own house, they have wife, they have children.
What do you worry about the most? What do you hope for the most?
The only thing that I worry about is drought, not the livestock, but drought. Many of the livestock keepers, the majority of them at Kuchi, lose their animals. They face a big problem, which is poverty. The majority of them at Kuchi, when they lose their animals, they face a big problem, which is poverty. The end of support from the donor side, especially those donors who are rescinding support in the livestock sector, will put the livestock owners in the country in a precarious economic situation as well.
I see. What about for you, Faridoon?
The challenge, Shamali also mentioned, that the big challenges for livestock owner in the country. Some year when we face with the drought, this is the big challenge for farmer, because more than 90% of livestock owner, they use pasture, mountains, also pasture, because we didn't have the farm system. Our Kuchis, they use the pasture. If there's no running, no water in the pasture, this is the big challenge for our livestock owner. This is the one challenge. And the second challenge for the livestock sector especially, we hope donor community not leave Afghanistan alone. We need their support to provide veterinary service or animal husbandry service in those areas. In the last 20 years, we not access those areas, but now security is okay. From donor community, we want to provide projects to work for those areas. There is no paravets, no veterinarian, no assistant paravets to train new people to provide veterinary service. My hope for the future of Afghanistan, especially for livestock owner. We hope to have peacefully Afghanistan without fighting, all country to come. Your name, I forgot again. Your name?
Yes. Wait.
View.
Yeah.
Once we in Afghanistan, View should come to Kabul to visit from far from Bamiyan, from some other historical province. My hope, peaceful Afghanistan, to meet with you sometime in Afghanistan.
That's a warm invitation for me to Kabul by the two gentlemen from Afghanistan. That's all we have for today. If you'd like to see more, search World Insight. Check out our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Tian Wei on behalf of the team. Thanks for watching. Bye.